Okay, let's pick right up from where we left off. We're doing these metric to metric conversions, and hopefully you're a believer that it is at least more simple, if nothing else. Again, let me emphasize these conversions we can only do this trick that I showed you in the last video when you're doing a metric to a metric. That's the only time this works. All right, if you're doing anything with US customary type of conversion, can't do it. You have to go back to the way we showed you in the previous method where you do the unit analysis. Okay, but let's continue here. We're just going to follow the trick. It's all about just knowing where the decimal value is, understanding you're either multiplying or dividing by a power of 10. And move the decimal the same number of places you'd move it on this chart. Same direction you'd move it. All right, let's take a look at this. 7,814 meters. All right, so I'm starting at the unit. And you're going to go to kilometers. Okay, so I'm going to move the decimal this way. 1, 2, 3. All right, the decimal in the number is right here, so we're going to move it 3. 1, 2. We're going to place it right there. Let's see. There it is, 7.81214. Basically, what you did is you divided that by 1,000 because you went from the left to the right there. Okay. Let's try it on this one. Now, let me emphasize again that it doesn't matter if these labels are meters, grams, or liters. It would all be the same thing. You see, these are just prefixes that are attached to the particular unit of measure that you're doing. So the fact that we're doing all millimeters or meters is irrelevant. I'm teaching you all of the same at once, whether it's volume, capacity, or distance. Okay, so 7,814 meters in this case, or let's pretend it's grams just for fun. All right, let's say it's grams. You're going from grams to decagrams. Okay, decimal point is right here, so we start at the unit, which would be grams over meters, and we go to deca, which is this way. It just went 1, so we move the decimal 1 this way, and we would have 781 and 4/10 decagrams, or decameters, or decaliters, whatever it is. All right, let's do a couple more here. Millimeters to centimeters. Okay, we're starting at milli. We're just going to centa. So move it right there, put the decimal point, and voila, you've got the answer. And if we're going to go kilometers to centimeters, that means you're starting here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 places that way. So you got 89. Here, you're going to move a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your decimal point. Plug in your filler values of zeros. So it looks to me like we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. There it is. 8.9 million centimeters is how many 89 kilometers is equal to. Okay, again, metric to metric is the only time you can do that trick. Okay, so unfortunately, the rest of our life is not quite that easy. Now it looks like I've got part of my thing is chopped off here, but here's what you're looking at. Let me just emphasize, you're looking at this page here. Scroll down to the bottom of your page. Here's where we're referring to. So even though part of mine might be chopped off, you are looking on this paper right here. Get used to that, and that's where we will get the, if we're going to make a conversion from US to metric or metric to US, we would use one of these columns here. Okay, now the interesting thing about this chart is notice, here's what they're trying to tell you. This group right here is what you should use if you're going from US to metric. Okay, this group right here that I'm circling with my mouse. Okay, US to metric. Notice you have a conversion from miles to kilometers, and here you have kilometers to miles, but it's slightly different. Also notice that all of the values have this wavy sign. That wavy sign, with that exception right there, the wavy sign basically means approximately. Now, the reason they have to do that is when you try to match up metric to US equivalents, they never really exactly match perfectly. Like we can say 3 feet is exactly 1 yard. Well, that doesn't work when you're going from metric to US or US to metric. So they have the wavy lines in there to tell you that it's really about that, but we can't say exactly what it is, but it's very, very close. So we're going to use the numbers on this chart for the work that we do. Okay, so I chopped that onto my page here, but it looks like part of it got chopped off. But you're looking at yours and we can refer to it. We should be okay. So to do these, we have to go back now to the previous method that we used, which was putting the number over 1 using unit analysis. Okay, so let's do that. I have yards, I want meters. So I start with 100 yards, put it over 1. Okay, now remember the trick? I have to match this unit here so it can cancel out. Now, I would like to have a conversion where I can go yards to meters. And I believe I do. Now I'm going to change my pin color again because that's when I realized blue will work better for me. So I can write on the yellow area here. I have yards to meters, and I have that right here. 1 yard is approximately 0.914 meters. So I'm going to put meters here because we're going to assume those are the same value. That 1 yard is about 0.914. A yard cancels out, so I take 100 times 0.914. Oops, there's a sloppy equal sign. Multiply that on your calculator, and you should get 91.4, which is the answer, approximately, really. How about number 2, 500 miles to kilometers? Okay, we're just going to do the same trick. 500, write down the unit in your fraction, put it over 1. Match miles has to go here so we can cancel it out. Now we look to see if we have miles to kilometers. We do. We have 1 mile is equal to about 1.61. Oops, 1.61 kilometer. Okay, that cancels out. You have 500 times 1.61, and that is 804.5 miles. And voila, you've got it. The same thing we're going to do on the next one. Now notice on this one we go kilometers to miles. Okay, I don't have it on here, so I'm going to refer back. The writing that I wrote will disappear when I change the screen because it does that in PowerPoint. I'm going to have to now use this one, I believe. Let me double check. Kilometers to miles. Okay, kilometers to miles. Oh, and now I'm losing my place here. There we go. Kilometers to miles. Okay, it's metric to US, kilometers to miles. So I'm going to use this one because I'm going metric to US. It'll work out a little easier for me. 1 kilometer is about 0.62. Okay, 0.62. Okay, so let's get back to my PowerPoint. So I write it down, 2383 kilometer over 1 times. Remember, kilometer has to match so we can cancel it out. And I believe it was 0.62 miles is approximately 1. There, you can cancel those out. You multiply 23 times 0.62. Put that in your calculator and you get that number right there. And I'm looking at my notes here. I have a different number written down. You might have got a different number. Let me look and double check this because I think that's not the answer that you probably have shown on your calculator. Let me double check and see. 2383 times 0.62. Yep. Here's probably what you got, and I'll explain why that happened. 1477.46. Okay, that's probably what you got, and that's fine. All right, now notice the numbers are really close. They're within, what, 2 kilometers of each other. Well, here's what happened. When I originally did this PowerPoint, I forgot to change it. When I originally did it, I did it like this. I used those numbers, and I set it up like this. I set it up 2383. You don't have to write this down. This is an interesting thing to be aware of. I still put kilometers here, and I put 1.61 kilometers is equal to 1 mile. Now, technically, it's about the same thing. That canceled out, but when I did this division, I actually got this number here. Okay, the reason that happened is because we had to round off those numbers. because they're not exactly equal. So that's why that happened that way. Okay, I'm just about out of time here, so I'll just show you the answer to number 4, and then in the next video we'll pick up in the next slide, and we should be able to speed the pace up just a little bit after that. On the next one I got 914, so you can double check me on that, and if that didn't work out right, bring that to class and we'll talk about it.